Fáilte de Gamapa. Welcome to Scotland. It's a diverse wee spot on the map that proudly boasts ancient myths and legends entwined into vibrant modern culture. Part of this, and unbeknownst to most, Scotland's most commonly spoken language wasn't always English. In fact, Scotland has had various languages throughout the ages, one of which is Gaelic, that you can still hear, read and experience across the country today. Whilst you're in Scotland, it's hard not to notice Gaelic woven into everyday life around you and the culture that stems from it. The Gaelic language is as beautiful as it is interesting. There are thousands of Scottish place names that carry origins from the Gaelic language. Dundee in the east of Scotland, for example, takes its name from the Gaelic Dùn Dè, meaning Tay Fort, and as the city sits on the banks of the River Tay, it's a very fitting name. Similarly, on the shores of Loch Leven in the Highlands, the village of Ballachulish in Gaelic is Ballachulish, which translates as the village by the Narrows, and geographically speaking, this describes the location of Ballachulish perfectly. In fact, this whole area has place names and locations that describe its scenery and ancient legends. Scottish Gaelic is closely linked with other Celtic languages, including Welsh, Cornish, Breton, Irish Gaelic and Manx Gaelic. The language dates back centuries and came across the water from Ireland in roughly the 6th century AD. It spread across Scotland and became the mother tongue of the medieval Kingdom of Alba. Over time, cultural, religious and population changes began to influence which languages were spoken. The building of abbeys in the borders and east coast, and later the growth of industry in many lowland towns and villages, meant other languages like Scots and English became more dominant. By the late 19th century, English was established and spoken as the main language in the schools, churches and communities of Scotland. Policy and legislation played a big part in this shift. For example, the Education Act of 1872 made English the sole language of schools, resulting in large numbers of children required to attend school in English despite only speaking Gaelic. This ultimately led to the Gaelic language primarily being used in households and in the northern communities of Scotland, such as the Outer Hebrides, the Isle of Skye and the Highlands. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the Highland clearances also played a part in the oppression of Gaelic, but not as much as you might think. When people in Highland communities were being forced off their land by famine, landlordism and economic decline, many Scots emigrated overseas, taking with them the Gaelic language and culture. This explains why you can see remnants of the language in these countries, such as Dunedin in New Zealand, Banff in Canada and Albany in the USA. As much as the language travelled, so did its culture and traditions. Gaelic culture covers a range of fascinating things, such as tartan, the kilt, toe-tapping ceilidhs, reverberating bagpipe tunes, hand-woven Harris tweed and much more, all of which you can still experience and enjoy today. Despite many challenges over time, Gaelic and its spirited, unique culture has survived against great odds and is still very much a part of Scotland. When you're in Scotland, you can soak up the welcoming atmosphere, history and customs of Gaelic music and song at one of our traditional music festivals, such as the Hebridean Celtic Music Festival, Harris Arts Festival, Bar Alive or Celtic Connections, to name a few. A particularly popular event, the Royal National Mod, prides itself in promoting the teaching and learning of the Gaelic language. It boasts incredible performances from bands, singers, musicians and more, all in Gaelic, of course. You may have already heard Gaelic without realising. One blockbuster to grace our screens is Outlaw King, starring Chris Pine, which features traditional Gaelic music and songs that can be heard throughout the film. The popular TV show Outlander uses Gaelic words and phrases throughout the seasons, as well as the characters sporting tartan clothes, kilts, traditional designs and more. The video game Bard's Tale 4 Barrows Deep draws on ancient Scotland to create a mythical world using Gaelic songs across the game. When you're in Scotland, you can watch and hear programmes in Gaelic across TV, radio and online. Gaelic is a truly beautiful language, so why not learn a few words and phrases and try communicating with the locals whilst you're in Scotland? You may not even realise it, but you already do speak some Gaelic. Whisky is short for Whisky Bay from Uisce, meaning the water of life. Other examples of Gaelic words that have found their way into English language are loch, glen and Chaolais. Why not charm local native speakers by learning some useful Gaelic phrases or have a go at exchanging a few pleasantries? Matin va, good morning. Feisgur ma, good afternoon. Kimina hashiv, how are you? Hagama tapalev, I'm well, thank you. Marshin leave, goodbye. Wherever you go in Scotland, you can always experience the beauty of Gaelic. Whether you're learning a phrase or two or tapping your toes to traditional tunes, there are plenty of ways to immerse yourself in the language and its culture.